Good evening and welcome to our Torbay Elite Fantasy Podcast with myself, Mr. Ball, and my good friend Jason, cooking off in the kitchen. Jason, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Dan.
Good. I'm a good friend Steve-O in London. Steve-O, how are you getting on?
Hello, Dan. Freezing cold, but hello. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, autumn's finished, winter's arrived, summer's over. So we're just going to be recapping the game week just gone, looking at the top four in our mini league, looking at the movers and shakers as ever, and recapping on our own teams, the transfers we made, and whom we regret, and looking at everything. Steve-O's got his notes out and is all ready to start, so I'm just going to pass you over to Steve-O now.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. And as ever, we kick off with Mr. Jason Robinson there, sat there in his kitchen and top of that league. Just absolute domination, Jason. You got 82 points. You moved up to 620th in the whole world. Just incredible. You are 35 points clear of second place in our mini league. You obviously captain Salah, Alonso in the points there. Mende, of course, with his clean sheet. Wilson, you predicted Wilson to be doing really well this game week, and my God, did he do well for us? 2 goals there. Cedric getting you the older defensive clean sheet plus bonus point. Richarlison getting an assist as well. Go ahead, Jason. Just talk your team, mate. I mean, this is an extraordinary season, pal.
So yeah, I was like I said in the reactionary podcast on Saturday. I regretted transferring out Fraser so soon before his fixtures changed, because I had a feeling that Bournemouth were going to do really, really well. Just their attacking play style against Fulham, who are just an absolute diabolical state of defence at the moment. So yeah, that's the first regret. I mean, if I'm allowed to have any regrets, because I've actually had a good week, so I can't really complain too much. Obviously, Mitrovic, slightly disappointed that he couldn't take any chances and get a goal. But yeah, 82 points in any week is a great score, especially without using a chip. Salah, the man, you know, he's starting to bring those returns that football managers, you know, I've been hoping for since the start of the season. And obviously the Mane debate is still rolling. I mean, he matches Salah, and he's looking a good option as well for people who don't necessarily want to spend the full 12.9 on him. So yeah, as an overview, very good week. There's a couple of players that I will be looking to ship for the next couple of game weeks. There's going to be a fixture swing of sorts where we've got a couple of teams that have got a really nice run of fixtures that I want to try and get a few of their assets in. I think majority of people probably know who I'm on about. Other than that, there's no major fires. That's the biggest thing. Coming out of a game week without any major fires. I'm not worried about Hazard because he's been seen in training today. He looks lively, so he probably will feature at the weekend. So other than that, no real concerns.
Yeah, I said to you in the Reactatory podcast, and if anybody wants to watch the Reactatory podcast, just look at our YouTube channel and you'll see it from the other day. But I said to you about the fact that, and I've completely lost my trail of thought now. That's embarrassing, isn't it? Oh yeah, that's it. You're dominating so much at the top of the league that it's almost like you can just play it safe from now on until the end of the season. You're 35 points clear, like I said. There's not much differentials really between yourself and Ben, so to speak. Is there just a thought process that now you can just play the game really boringly and just bring in just the most dullard approach players possible, rather than what me and Dan are going to have to do to really catch up, or anybody to really catch you, or even just getting into the top 4 spot in our mini league, where we have to try and find that differential? How are you finding the whole transfer business for yourself now?
That's a very, very good question. In previous seasons, I've been wanting to take risks and have a bit of a punt on a player. But I think that the common sense approach, being at the rank I am at the moment with the lead that I've got in the mini league, would suggest that I play defensively, stick with the most commonly picked captains. For example, I was close to captaining Wilson last game week. That being said, I chose the right option with Salah. So, going forward, I will obviously still think very carefully about my choices, my player selection, my captain picks. But there's still like Hazard, Salah, Aguero in my team. I'm not going to get it right every week. All it needs is 2 or 3 failed game weeks, choosing the wrong one of those 3, because then there is going to be chances for people to catch that. Ben second place. It's 35 points. It's not unattainable in one game week.
No, I mean, talking of Ben, if you want to bring his team up, he played his free hit chip. And what a bloody week to play it. I mean, fair play to him. He did really, really well. He got 77 points and was very, very unlucky for Holebas and Robertson not to start. And he had no base. He basically had no playing defending substitutes. So he missed out on, if Holebas played, he may have got he would have got the clean sheet point there. Robertson, we don't know what he would affect, but let's just say he conceded the 2 points. So he missed out on 6 points, really. And as you can see there, Foster, Rudiger, Herrera, Willian, Salah as his captain, Aubameyang getting the goal there, a fantastic free hit chip there. And he's 35 points you, and it just doesn't seem to, no matter what Ben seems to do each week, there's always somebody that kind of almost like lets him down within his team. And you as a player, Jason, are just constantly making that gap almost bigger each week by just a couple of points here or there. I mean, I think I had in my notes like last week. Oh yeah, so last week you were 14 points clear of Ben. You basically doubled that now, plus a few on top of that. You must be feeling so confident at the moment, Jace, because it just doesn't seem to be anything that we can do to catch you.
Literally, I'll be honest with you. I am just keeping a level head, not trying to think about it. I'm just doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm just going to carry on each week doing what I've done since the start of the season. Something obviously is happening in my, the way I'm analysing and picking my selections. It seems to be working, so I'm not going to try and change anything or worry too much about, or try and get carried away with at the start of the season. We'll go back to game week 1, game week 2, over 100 points. That's unheard of. I got off to a very, very fortunate start. Getting 30 to 50 points more than others in the first 2 game weeks, giving me a head start. So I'm not going to try and think that I'm in the in the clear, because I'm not. And I'm going to keep a level head. Maybe after Christmas, ask me again.
I mean, within that top 4, there just seems to be only one close battle at the moment, and that is between 2nd and 3rd, so between Ben and Terry. So Terry Roos, he actually beat you, Jason, by 1 point. He got 83 points. Mm-hmm. Of course, that City double-up defence of Edison being not only in the clean sheet, he also got a bonus point as well. Mendy, of course, Alonso, Salah captain, Richarlison, Wilson. Terry he's 27 points clear of newly Connor Lee. And the 3 of you are just completely dominating. I mean, between 3rd and 4th, there's a 27-point gap now. It just gets bigger and bigger. And between yourself and 4th spot, there's 77 points between you and 4th alone. If we look at newly placed 4th in Connor Lee, he overtook me. We'll get into my team in a minute. I took No, I didn't take a -8, and that's why we're going to look at my team in a minute. I got Connolly got 66 points. He's 10 points clear of me. The notable point scorers there were Foster in goal, Alonso, Mende. But this is the key thing to get the vice captain right. So he had Hazard as his captain, but obviously he didn't play, and of course his vice captain was who? Sadio Mane. Thanks a bunch. Yeah. So that was just a massive kick in the teeth for me. So an extra 30 points there for Mane, and Richarlison getting the assist as well. So we can move on to my team now, and I am just dropping like a stone. I have quite literally dropped 100,000 places in the past 3 game weeks. So I was 7,167th in the world. I am now 107,245th. And I've been doing a lot of digging to see where it all went wrong for me. Now, this game week, I was contemplating taking a -8. And I thought, no, I don't want to take a hit. I just want to keep my points as they are, and I'm sure I'll be okay. Well, it turned out that actually I missed out on basically 28 points. So my plan was to get rid of Kane, Richarlison and Trippier, and I was going to bring in Arnautovic, Salah and Laporte. I was going to captain Salah, and taking into account the -8, I would have been overall 28 points better off. I would be 4th now on 650 points, and I'd be 18 points clear of 5th. I didn't do it, and I'm now 10 points behind 4th. Another transfer that I was going to do was Hennessy to Ryan. Didn't do that, and that cost me 9 points. And because of that, I mean, admittedly, I'd still be 5th, but I'd be on 631 points instead, and I'd be 18 points clear of 6th. So, yeah, I am having an absolute disastrous season over the past few games. Now, I've been doing some digging. I've been saying for the past few podcasts that 2 defining moments, I believe, that have caused this, and actually, I've been completely wrong. So my initial thoughts were that actually, when I did a wild card, that was the worst. That was one of the worst things I did. Turned out actually my wild card's done really, really well. If I hadn't have done any transfers or whatever, I'd have been, where are we here? If I'd have done no transfers whatsoever since my game week 5 wild card, I would be probably on 661 points, 48 points off you, Jason, 13 off second. I'd be 2 points ahead of third and 29 points over 5th. What's been a disaster for me is actually over the last 2 game weeks where I've made some horrific transfers. So game week 8, I did a -4 for 3 players. So I got rid of Mitrovic, Mane and Mende, and I brought in Kane, Knockout and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Well, if I'd have kept Mitrovic, Mane and Mende, I'd have made a total of 38 points. Well, get this. The 3 players that I brought in those 2 game weeks have brought me a total of 10. So I've missed out on 28 points there. And then this week, however, I actually have made a -11. So, yeah, my transfers this week were actually decent. I brought in Brooks and Robertson, getting rid of Moray and Wan-Bissaka. And obviously Brooks and Robbo have made in the last 2 game weeks 17 points. And Moray and ABE only made 6. So, yeah, it just seems that it's been my horrendous transfer dealings over the last 2 game weeks, which have completely cost me. I mean, I was even looking at the fact that I've been banging on about the Lacazette drum, and even if I had brought in Lacazette during my wild card, and hadn't changed any players whatsoever, again, I wouldn't have been any better off, if anything, if I'd have just kept Mitrovic, Wilson and Aguero. I would have made a total of 88 points. I would have brought in Lacazette and just did a two-man front formation. I'd have only made 64 points. Now, this isn't taking into captain choice or anything like that. It's just a bit of basic maths here and there. But yeah, it's been very interesting to me to learn that actually it's been my last 2 game weeks of transfers, which have cost me dearly. No coincidence that they've taken 2 hits as well. Now, we'll go on to Dan in a minute. Dan's been a bit quiet. I feel like I'm leaving out the group. So Dan, you're 15th in our mini league.
Mm.
And you got 63 points. Took a hit though, a -4, so 59 total. But you had the Mane and Salah double up, captain in Salah, and a total of a plus 28 difference with the transfers that you made and everything. So well done on that. Talk about your week, Dan. But like I said, you're 15th, 49 points off 4th though.
Mm. Yeah, so I mean, generally I was pleased. My original plan was to bring in Robinson. So glad I didn't do that now, but didn't see that coming, to be fair, and be sensible. But then the thing that triggered me bringing Salah back into the team was obviously the news that Hazard wasn't fully fit and he wasn't in training. And I thought, that happened the week before with Mane. I'm not going to risk that again. And I just looked at that fixture against Cardiff as such a fun fixture. And I was like, right, got to get Salah back in. Fixtures coming up are good. So glad with that. There's some dead wood in my team. I mean, like you say, Maddison's not really delivering. He did well when I brought him in from the wild card, but now been poor. And Wolves have slipped up. You know, obviously they've lost 2 games in a row. I've doubled up with their defensive assets in my team again, and again it's backfired. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the balance of my team needs sorting out now. Very top heavy in midfield. So my next investment will be in a premium defender. I'm sure you can guess who I'm maybe referring to if we look at some other teams in the league. But yeah, I just need to sort out that defence, really. That's going to be my main priority. But yeah, generally a decent game week, but not a spectacular game week that's going to get me back into the top 10 and back into contention for top 4.
I mean, we're not looking at your team, but looking at the general overall picture, you now, because I mean, admittedly, this week was the perfect ideal time to be doing a minus hit for anybody to bring in Salah, basically. Are you thinking to be doing even more hits, Dan, to be bringing, basically more premium players in to get you up to that elusive 4th spot, which again, I alliterate, you're 49 points off?
Yeah, possibly. It is the whole thing about I've taken so many point hits and hence why I'm further down the league and they've not paid off. But as the previous week with Mane. But yeah, it's that calculated gamble. That's what Salah was. It was a calculated gamble that really paid off, and it was just looking at his form coming into the game. So yeah, it is tempting. It is really tempting. I can't really be a boring FPL manager now because I'll just be meandering sort of just below the top 10. If I take a few risks, take a few hits, then yeah, possibly. But the main thing for me is to get rid of a couple of deadwood and invest in that defence and just try and sort out the structure of that team a bit more, really. But I love taking a gamble. That's why I do the dead cert bet every week. So I probably will take more hits, to be fair.
I mean, Cy Bellamy asked us the question on @EliteFPL on Instagram. He asked me directly, but I mean, I can throw it to you as well, Dan. I mean, he asked me if I've given up on the FPL in our mini league, but have I given up on our mini league? And the simple answer is no. The main reasoning behind why he asked this is because he was just saying why I didn't bring in any Liverpool attacking. Well, clearly he's not been watching the podcast because I actually made the point that I deliberately brought in 2 Liverpool defenders because I believed that they would cover the points through clean sheets against Cardiff and Huddersfield that, let's be honest here, that Salah would bring in. Now, obviously they conceded against Cardiff, I'm fully aware of. But, you know, it's one of those where if he did play Robertson, I mean, we can all sit with 2020 vision now and say, well, if he brought in Robertson, they'd have kept a clean sheet and whatnot. But I'm not too fussed about that gamble in a way. I'm still kind of like quite happy with what I did with the double defence. There was logic behind it. It wasn't a risk or anything. It was just the fact that for whatever reason, Klopp decided to drop Trent.
I'm surprised. I mean, just doing chat, I'm surprised Moreno's still at the club after his performance in the Europa League final a couple of years ago. I remember that game, him getting torn apart, and just in general, it was a very shock decision. And yeah, it's that rotation. That's a real.
But it's not just that. I mean, Hazard with this back injury. No one foreseen Hazard getting a back injury, and Chelsea
carrying Chelsea all season.
Well, yeah, and Chelsea battered Burnley 4-0, and it pains me to say this, but this is what fantasy football does to me. It's like last week when we lost to Man City 5-0. It was like, all right, I know we're going to lose, so let's just see the score after 20 minutes. Oh, it's 1-0. Right, okay, did Aguero score? Right, my captain scored. I don't really care anymore. What will he get on extra? And it's like, oh, nothing. Brilliant. But that's a bit of a disappointment. And then I'm getting really, really emotional saying this. Then it moves into the Chelsea game, and it's, Hazard doesn't play. They batter us 4-0, which I predicted as well. And the one player which probably Hazard would have been starting ahead of, which was Willian. Didn't Willian get a goal or something? I mean, Ross Barkley getting into the points as well, 2 assists and a goal. I mean, I look at it and I think if Hazard was playing, what the blinking hell would he have done?
It's a double dagger in the heart for you, isn't it? Because your team's getting battered, which is obviously really disappointing, and you lost out on the FPL side, because that's when FPL can be really cruel. So
I mean, for me, Dan, it's more like when it comes to Burnley playing the top teams in the Premier League, I just go, we've lost it. I'm just happy for whatever fantasy assets I've got in that game to score. And I'm not wishing. I would take a Burnley 1-0 win against Chelsea and Hazard gets sent off. I'd take that any day of the week.
Yeah, I'm the same.
But when you kind of when the percentages suggest that actually, let's be honest here, Chelsea have got a very, very good chance, or Man City have got a very, very good chance of beating Burnley, it's pretty obvious that, well, let's just see what your players do. And it's just been pure unfortunate luck for me that I was going to captain Hazard the whole time, and then this back injury comes out, and it's brilliant. I'm going to have to captain Aguero, and we all know what happened on Monday night. It's absolute shambles. And we all know that...
Dan looks like he's asleep.
Sorry, Jason?
Dan looks like...
I'll just carry on chatting. So we all know what happened in the City game. And the simple point to say is that, no, I haven't given up on Premier League. I mean, I've already alluded to it. But, I mean, I've got my captain choice. Eight times out of 10 this season, I've got, well, not correct as in the most points of my team, but I've got an attacking return from my captain on 8 times out of 10 occasions. It's just been pure unfortunate luck for myself that I've just been dropping over the last 3 game weeks due to the fact of poor transfer choices. I mean, how are you viewing this, Jason? Like, doing the podcast together and looking at myself and Dan's team. I mean, what, are you seeing a pattern forming here? Or is it just, like I said, just pure unfortunate luck for myself?
Yeah, I mean, there is an element of luck to this game. At the end of the day, you can look at the stats, you can look at the form, you can look at the fixtures, but ultimately, you know, you're going to make decisions that end up failing. You're going to have decisions that, or you're going to end up having just points that just miraculously appear off the bench that you never thought you were going to get. So there is an element of luck to this game, and I would disagree with anyone that said there isn't. And I think you've just had bad luck. I mean, Hazard not playing. I mean, I said to you on Saturday, I said you need Hazard to play.
Yes,
because you could see, but I mean, I think you kind of resigned yourself to the fact that Knockout was going to come off the bench with a massive 0. But yeah, I mean,
that's another gamble which I looked at Knockout and I was like, you know what? His performance over the past 7 game weeks prior to me bringing him in were decent. I think he scored 3 goals and got 1 assist. Fine, I'll take that from a 5.5 midfielder. The last 3 game weeks, he's got me a total of 3 points. It's just he didn't start against Newcastle. He got 9 minutes and a yellow card the other day, and he got me 3 points, which included basically a clean sheet and the 2 points for playing more than 60 minutes. That is just pure unfortunate. Of course, my double Liverpool thing, the fact that Trent didn't play against Huddersfield, that cost me a clean sheet. It's just a very simple as that. And you're completely right. I mean, it is, like you said, an element of luck. And I've already gone through my stats that actually, if I hadn't done any of this, I'd actually be third. But this is what FPL does. But
I think the main thing is to I mean, it's easy for me to say it, but not to look backwards. You know, you can think ifs and buts all day long, but at the end of the day, you've got a plan for the next game week, which I think you've already done, because you've gone from one side of the spectrum now to being conservative with your transfers and methodically changing when needed to more of a renegade approach of let's just smash apart my team, bring in some new assets, and see how we get on. I like that, because you're going to be a little bit more. I mean, there's a bit of excitement that's been thrown into the mixture then, surely.
Yeah, I'm not going to reveal who I brought in today. I probably will do on the preview podcast on Thursday evening. I've done an 8-point hit so far because the players that I'm bringing in, 2 of them are risky. I'm not going to deny it. I don't mean in the sense of like their differential risk. I mean as in one is potentially a non-starter and the other one is just started to break through into a team. And they're performing quite well at the moment. But I've taken an 8-point hit so far. I've brought in 4 players. And I'm actually seriously considering taking a 12-point hit because I'm so sick to death of another player on my team that this player may have blown his chance. But I will reveal all on the preview. But you're completely right.
I'm going to predict in my mind Martial is one of those players. Because he's breaking through, he's looking really good, and I don't want to spoil it for you, but I mean, I've been looking at him also. But I don't think Barkley. There's been some discussion about Ross Barkley being the new sort of like bargain midfielder. Now you may have bought him in also, but I just think that it's a bit of a wait and see moment for him. I think there's a lot of knee jerks going on at the moment, getting him in for one good performance. So, but yeah, I'm really interested in seeing what you've done to your team, because I know that you weren't happy with a few of the picks in there, but at least you haven't got Lucas Moura anymore.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them. I mean, looking at the players that I've taken out and brought in, I mean, Moray, Trent Alexander, Knockout, Kane, Andrew Wan-Bissaka. They have been absolutely dross for me.
Wan-Bissaka, I watched Crystal Palace, right? Wan-Bissaka arguably was up there with one of the best players for the weekend. He played.
Oh, absolutely. Really
and for his price tag, from game week on, he has been an absolute godsend.
Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that from what I'm hearing, he has been pretty much one of Crystal Palace's best players. But I'm not looking at it from a real life. I couldn't care less about real life. I'm looking at it from a fantasy perspective. And then their next 4 or 5 fixtures are absolutely atrocious.
But he is bench fodder at the end of the day, and we want bench fodder that plays 90 minutes, and that's a cheapie. I mean, for a fantasy point of view,
I'm doing the transfers that I've done are by far a massive upgrade on the tripe that I've got at the moment. Let's just put it at that. But talking of our mini league, Dan, are you back with us? So
just about,
we've
mate.
got a few comments on YouTube for anybody brand new watchers of this regarding joining our mini league. Unfortunately, the closing date to join our mini league ended. When was it? In the beginning of September, wasn't it, Dan? 2 weeks after the season started. Yeah. So unfortunately, at the end of the day, our mini league it's a £10 entry league at the start of the season, and simply put, this podcast was just predominantly a private social media assistant, so to speak, to excuse the pun there for Dan's business, but it was just a distant thing for our Facebook group. But we decided, the three of us, to put it onto YouTube, and we're just genuinely grateful at the response that we've had. So unfortunately, anybody watching this that wants to join our mini league, not this season, but next season probably. But it's definitely a cash league, and the basic simple knowledge is the reason why we cover the top four is because basically that's where the majority of the cash prize is: first, second, third, and fourth. So in answer to anybody that's wanting to join our mini league, unfortunately, the closing date passed months ago. But certainly next season, anybody is more than welcome to join our mini league and add to the 54 teams that we got in our league at the moment. So yeah, Dan, Jason, would be brilliant. I think there we have it, Dan. I mean, I don't know if you've got anything to add, or anything you want to add, Jason, to it.
No, just obviously again, thanks for the comments we've had over the last few weeks on the podcast that we've done previously. It's great to see that new people want to join the league, and certainly, obviously, stay subscribed to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, Elite FPL, and yeah, like Sivo says, be more than welcome to join next season and keep a tab on it this season. And yeah, but the more the merrier, is the saying.
I did want to say, Dan, as well, is that someone also asked. We get quite a few people asking about transfers and looking at their teams and stuff. Please just send them in. We always respond to anybody that writes in. We're more than happy to any new extra content that you want us to look at in the podcast, just to make it a bit more entertaining for you guys and more engaging for anybody that's watching this. We're more than happy to look at it and stuff. So yeah, please send it all in.
I'm just going to want to say sorry for the technical difficulties this podcast. Dan, I want to say, wherever you are now in your building, picture quality is about 10 times better, and you haven't dropped a single frame. So I would recommend probably using that room if possible when you do Wi-Fi.
Yeah, sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. I'm actually using the data off my phone. So at the moment, my data is being rinsed off my phone rather than connecting to my internet. So for the sake, but sorry about technical difficulties. Post office home phone, you are crap. But yes, thanks again for watching our latest podcast. And as ever, obviously, if you've got any questions you wanted us to answer in the next one, please let us know. Comment below, subscribe, connect with us on Instagram at Elite FPL. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks a lot, guys.
Take care.
Cheers, Dan. Bye, Jason.
Bye.